What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more garbage, and we're returning to the 2021 remaster of the 2001 album Beautiful Garbage. Thank you again to Phil, as well as to Mikey and others who've been part of this garbage deep dive. It still amuses me. I have learned to control it better, but yes, the use of their band name as a modifier will endlessly be funny. In any case, we're up to the final tune on the album proper, though fair to say there are a number of bonus tracks, including a Velvet Underground cover and some other things in this expanded folder, so we're not done with this chapter of the garbage journey yet, but the final tune on the proper album is So Like a Rose. It's interesting phrasing. First of all, it's a simile. It's saying that something is like this other entity, but is not the other entity directly. And the use of so seems to be a degree modifier. You're so like a rose, you're not somewhat like a rose or only slightly like a rose, you are so like a rose. But I don't quite know, how this will be directed, whether it's the speaker talking about themselves, talking about someone else, maybe not even talking about a person, but maybe a situation that is beautiful while it lasts, but maybe wilts and eventually dies and thus has a finite lifespan. I feel like there's any number of ways a metaphor or indeed a simile, not a metaphor, like this could go. Let's see what it is in practice as Lucas sleeps below. This is Garbage. The tune is So Like a Rose, and it's the last album, or it's the last track on their 2001 album Beautiful Garbage.
Baby thinks he's dying. Lost inside his bedroom. Mommy won't stop crying. Daddy's always working. There's no going back. There's no going back. There's no going back on this one. Baby wakes up with the sun, while everyone is sleeping. He thinks he's going crazy. This could be the big one.
a fair end to the album to have it drift off in dreamy blurriness. I will note the reversal of the percussion at the very end there. The kick drum went into reverse and it was turned around, which is funny because there's that refrain during the song, what is it, there's no going back or something like that. So yeah, overall, definitely a dreamy, blurry, hazy, bit of distortion sonic atmosphere, but very mellow and comfortable for the most part. I mean, there were those like guitar chords which had a bit of dissonance. There were a couple moments where the overall sound seemed to get a bit warped and twisted, but it seemed to smooth out each time. And with those backing vocals, which I assume is also just Shirley, maybe layered or with effects on it, at least echo or reverb, something like that, there's this lush feeling to everything. But it does seem maybe like it's at odds with, or perhaps, giving a bit of a ironic sonic atmosphere to the narrative or the scene setting, which I don't really have a sense of in any comprehensive respect, but I got enough lines that there's some factual elements, or at least as we're being told by the narrator, who indeed is talking about somebody else being so like a rose, not herself. But yeah, okay, so it's like there's this baby, which like I don't think it's literally an infant, but it's like a young male, I guess, and the state that he's in mentally, emotionally sounds complicated at the very least. And I do think there is something to the idea of a rose being fragile and or ephemeral, something that does not last forever, something that comes to an end, something that wilts. I think there is something to that. But okay, so like mom is crying like constantly, dad's working all the time, so it sounds like there's maybe at least a not perfectly harmonious domestic situation, and maybe there's an illness that the young person has, and maybe that's why they're wilting or why they're impermanent like a rose. But yeah, so like it seems like the person being described is not in a great way psychologically and or physically, and maybe that's why mom is so upset, and maybe why dad is deliberately working and just, kind of out of sight, out of mind. I'm not going to be the one to have to deal with this, and I'm just going to sort of put myself at a distance from it. I'm not sure. But then it's like the stars are out tonight and they can hear you breathing, and so there's a sense of like perspective and scale, and yet also like a personal intimacy with this, kind of cosmic environment. And maybe that's the only, what's the right word, refuge that this person being described has. So yeah, I don't quite know how it all comes together, but it feels like maybe impermanence and or fragility is at least part of it. I do enjoy Shirley's lead vocals, and as I said, the overall atmosphere has this dreamy, kind of blurry fugue state, but with a couple moments where it feels like it's a bit tense, a bit uncomfortable, and then it seems to smooth itself out again. So yeah, curious to hear what people have to say about this one, but a really nice tune to end the album on, a reflective tune, a tune that had me up in my headspace, even if, again, I can't quite sort out exactly what's happening narratively or in terms of the scene setting. But yes, a lovely tune musically and vocally, and one that I think had a nice conclusion to the album, including a fade out, which, again, people who know this channel for long enough know that my feelings on fade out endings have never been fully enthusiastic, and yet I have come to a better appreciation for certain contexts in which I think they work, and this would be one of them. So in any case, we have a number of bonus tunes in this folder still to go, so thank you again, Phil. Let me know what you think, and Luca, who is still sleeping down there, and I will see you next time. Peace.